Afternoon, guys. On this Wednesday afternoon.
How's the boys?
How's it going, Ryan?
Lehan, how you, man?
Good, good.
Yeah,
How's it,
visitor in the studio today. Been on before, Leon, but awesome to have you back, pal.
Yeah, cool to be back.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, and thanks for the last minute change.
Yeah. Thanks for staying adaptable, obviously, due to Ishcom's
Yeah,
misgivings.
keep it tidy.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, Escom fucked up. And yeah, sorry, but yeah, Leon, we here. Nice to have you. We're going to chat a bit about your project that's been ongoing for quite a while. You've done really well with, so interested in listening to what you have to say there. And before we get into it, I mean, what have you been doing?
What have I been doing?
What haven't you been doing, maybe?
What haven't I been doing? That's probably a shorter list. Yeah, so yeah, when was I on? Last year, October, November, I think. And couldn't keep up with Flying Eyes. Like, honestly, I'm so grateful. It went very, very well. My stock, I had to, the batch that I actually brought in is my third batch that I brought in. Yeah. So
cool.
My first two sold out within weeks of each other.
Serious?
Yeah, it's pretty hectic, man. Like that, I was even more surprised than you guys are. And then when I wanted to bring them in, customs screwed me over a little bit. So I ordered my third batch end of November, waited until the 21st of December for that batch to come in. They took 5 weeks to clear it, so that was a bit of a mission. So I lost quite a bit of sales over December, but I mean, it just picked up again in January, February. So yeah,
That's awesome.
pretty good. But yeah, been busy with that and busy with my website stuff like I've been doing and trying to get in the air, although I haven't been in the air too much, unfortunately, but trying to stay involved.
Okay. Well, before we get there, I mean, obviously, we had one of your mates on last week. Keegan was on chatting about his sock venture. From a business side, and you know, one of the things we've encouraged, Leon, is the guys to go out and do something, you know, other than just fly. You know, you've built this business now. No doubt, when you get your license, I'm pretty sure you're not just going to fold this up and give it all away. You've put in too much work for that. So,
yep.
I mean, from a business side, how's it been? You've obviously learned a lot, stuff that you're going to take with you moving forward. You know, has there been anything that's come out of blindsided you a bit that you found a bit difficult that you didn't realize was going to be difficult? I know a lot of the guys, you know, the social media thing's a big thing. The marketing and branding is a big thing. It takes a lot of time. Anything from your side that you can highlight there?
Yeah, I think, like you said, the time thing is a massive thing to try and juggle everything that you want to do, because when you are a business owner, you're obviously excited about the project or about the product. You're the only one that actually cares about the product. No one else is going to care about it on your behalf. So you literally have to be involved in everything. And I think that actually makes it a bit more difficult, because you can't give anything away, because then you sit there and you think the whole time, but I wouldn't have done it like this, or I wouldn't have done it like that, and then you just take it on yourself again. So I think that was pretty difficult for me, is to just give it to other people, especially the selling part is just have a stand somewhere, let someone else try and sell it on my behalf. Like, they won't screw it up, don't worry about it. That was difficult. Definitely importing is a whole other ball game. I've never imported anything,
because this comes from the States.
Yes, from Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. So it comes from the States. That was quite a challenge to figure out, how does the importing thing work. Now you need a VAT number, but you also don't need a VAT number, and you need an importing number, and then there's like
really
a million types of numbers.
Well, it's a mission.
Not so straightforward as just like ordering something off Amazon.
But even Amazon's not that straightforward. You buy something off Amazon, and then they send you the shipping company sends you a little bit of a random mail to say you've got to fill in some extra details. Half the time you don't know if that shipping company, if what you're actually sending is legit, you know, because they're asking for addresses and IDs and tax numbers and things like that. So
I never have any grief, because I just tune on, I click on that thing where it says it's a gift.
It's a gift.
It's a gift. Yeah, it's a gift. So if it's a gift, then they can't hook you any hassles, man. So what your problem is?
I'm gonna start asking questions if I buy so many gifts for myself.
Well, you're a giving oak. I mean,
Yeah.
and with it being so close to Christmas, I mean, You got lots of
Yeah.
chums.
Yeah, but I also have to sleep at night, right? Like, it does make it a bit difficult.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, we've got different reasons for not sleeping at night, then, I guess.
That,
Yeah.
that is true. It is true. This
Yeah.
is my baby.
Yeah.
So,
Let's
Got quiet there for a second.
yeah. I was just thinking, yeah, last week there was a lot of baby talk going on there. I don't want to
okay,
start
we won't
off
go
that
there.
way this week.
Yeah.
we don't go that
All right. So obviously it comes from Texas. It's a brand that existed already. You've taken on the brand in South Africa. You're the sole distributor, and you're doing a great job with it. Obviously targeting aviation as you would, and sales have been good. So we got some awesome looking glasses here that Ryan and I have been testing out. And Ryan, we've actually just gripped a couple of pairs because they're really cool.
Yeah.
They are so light. It's ridiculous. I mean, I was just commenting. I have to be so careful wearing these bloody things all the time.
Yeah.
Capri's always trying to grab them and that, and they always, they're going to break. Those things are just are ludicrous. I know we'll do a bit of a demo just now, but quality wise, they're really, really good, Leon. And I'm sure, such a pleasure flying in those. I forgot over in December when I was bombing around in the Cherokee there, looking out other aircraft trying to save my life. I forgot how critical it is to have a good pair of shades, particularly in a light aircraft. It's a hell of a story. There's so much, you got these big headphones on, and it's a serious thing.
Oh, yeah.
But as well, because we haven't flown in a while, you kind of forget how important it is to have a good pair of glasses for flying.
No, exactly.
And I suppose this is exactly what these are.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I certainly could never go to work flying without my sunglasses. I remember there was one day when I had forgotten my sunglasses at home, and I was so cross with myself.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe.
Well, I can't see without them.
No,
I literally
'cause
cannot see.
It was so difficult to manage that day. And then, of course, like you say, it's not just the wearing the glasses, to protect your eyes and that, but a comfortable pair, especially when you're doing a long day's flying, like our friends at Semi do.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, even the instructors. So what I found from the instructor market is, I mean, those guys, they're not flying. So the students come in, you do your flight for the day or nav or whatever, 2.5 hours, and you go home. But the instructors do 2-3 flights a day with students, so it becomes a bit of a hassle.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like I just bought them because I thought they were cool, and I was following a YouTuber that were using them, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, anything that can make your life more comfortable in the flight deck is certainly worth it. Obviously, you started this, Leon. Part of it was you're busy doing your comm, and having a business on the side that's making a bit of money can only help.
Yeah.
Jeez, I can't believe how expensive it has become to go out and fly. So having something, I mean, is that still the kind of game plan, or is this now morphed into something much bigger? I mean, you might have started it for that reason, but you need to continue it for another reason.
Yeah. No, I think the main, well, I don't have my comm yet, so I think that will be the goal number one until that goal is reached. That would be the goal. What happens afterwards is, I think it's a blessing. And obviously a business, you don't set up a business to only run for X amount of days and then you want to close it down. So I think I would definitely want to have it. And that's the beauty of having an online business. I mean, you can run it from anywhere. You can automate a lot of things. I mean, Keegan also spoke about some of the automations and stuff last week, stuff that he had to figure out. So there's a lot of stuff that you can automate. But yeah, the Flying Eyes, I'm not taking any money out of the company for myself. It's literally paying for either new inventory or hours in the air. That's what Flying Eyes are paying for.
That's interesting what you say, though, with the automation side. I mean, didn't really think about it that way. If you got an online shop and you're quite jacked up with your computers and that, like you are, and you do set up some good automation, it can take away a lot of the time, because time is the whole thing.
Yeah, you can. So when you buy online, or you can set up an online shop to literally tell the courier that they have to come and pick up. So you can tell the courier that there's inventory at this warehouse address. If they see that there's inventory, as soon as the payment goes through, they send the courier, come and pick it up, go and drop it off, send a thank you email to your client. Everything happens automatically. You don't even have to touch it. So
so it frees up a bit of time for you to focus more on like the social media aspect. I know Keegan mentioned like the social media thing takes a lot of time.
Look at it even with the podcast. One of the biggest things is to is to advertise.
Yeah.
And I mean, even like us, we use a platform, StreamYard, for this live view, and they do a lot of the work themselves. I mean, I was bragging about it when we first started using it because I said we don't even have to promote it. It shoots it out on, all the platforms, and it makes such a difference. So it's interesting what you say there. Someone that's looking at starting something, and they're wondering, should they go fully online or should they, do a bit of a hybrid version? If you're going to go hybrid, you're still going to be stuck with doing a lot of the work yourself.
Yeah.
So, maybe particularly if it's a little bit of extra work that you do, then a full-on online setup like you've done is the way to go. I made the comment before we started the show how nice your website is. It just flows. I mean, it looks like an online shop that you would buy. I mean, these established online shops. It's really, really good. It's got a nice feel, nice setup. It's one click. There it is. There's a product, and off you go and buy it. So you've done a great job there, Lehan. It's really, really good. Looking forward from a business aspect, obviously it's a franchise. You've obviously, I mean, they obviously got a call from you, South African guy, and you said, "Hey, I want to bring this to South Africa." They must have been a bit taken aback as well, because they're competing in a massive market, and here's this youngster flying. He's got a bit of a pizzazz for marketing and design and whatnot, and he's going to sell our product. So you obviously, I think you've impressed a few people there in Texas.
Well, at least one. The guy that made the decision at the end of the day. It was like, okay, cool. But yeah, it was actually crazy how it happened. So I made the comment about the YouTuber earlier, and that's literally how it happened. So I followed this guy, Ludix Aviation, on YouTube. He makes freaking cool videos. And he kept on rambling about how cool these sunglasses were. And I was like, well, I can't find them in South Africa, and it costs R1 million to bring them into the country. So I decided to email them, ask them, do you guys have someone that's distributing in South Africa or Africa? And they were like, yeah, we had a guy, but not anymore, really. Why are you interested? And I was like, yes, I'm interested.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And I had a video call with the international sales manager, and he was like, yeah, sure, cool, let's do it. You seem like you know what you're talking about when it comes to aviation. So I was like,
well, that's debatable, but
I told him I listened to the Brian Air podcast.
Okay, well, that must have been
when Keegan's on, you get all the news. So
thank goodness Keegan was on last week. Didn't know what was going on. But we got the shades, and for everyone sort of watching online now, I mean, I do not want to touch those things because I've seen you do stuff to that, but I know Ryan has been trying. Ryan wants to break a pair.
No, look, let's have it.
So I was thinking
how are we going to
do something cool. Well, we can just probably sit here. But so I was thinking what we can do is, because we're making the claim online as well that you can't break them. They're unbreakable, and you have a lifetime warranty on the frame. So if the frame breaks, I'll send you a new one. Okay. So we're going to test that out now live, because I'm the salesman. No one believes what
you're going to stand by your product.
Yeah, I'm going to stand by it. So I'm going to hand each of you a frame. So I took the lenses out because the lenses pulled them back a little bit. And then I'm going to challenge you guys to
Ryan,
bend them.
First,
let me just... I'm probably going to end up breaking my computer before the glasses.
Yeah, so bend them as much as you can.
Right, so Ryan bent them totally around. No ways.
No, I'm doing like
a
180, 360.
No.
Come on, man. Can you like tie knots? No, just folded the lens, the handle. No, man. Okay, does that classify as broken?
No, it's not broken. So now I'll put the lens back in, and then it'll be fine.
Check it there.
Hey?
This is ridiculous.
Nuts. Like, seriously,
you can't do that, man.
Hey,
I mean, I've got.
Check at this.
No ways. Now I don't even want to. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's almost like an aviation material.
Hey?
It's incredibly light. It's incredibly strong, and obviously we've popped out the lenses, because obviously if you've got them in with the lenses, then the lenses are just going to pop out when you bend them like that. But Lehan putting them back in now, they really are incredible.
Integrity.
They you totally bend them around. It's crazy, and they just snap back into the normal shape. It's ridiculous,
and they're light.
It really is, and they are so light. It really is crazy. There they go back in.
Go back in.
Put them on, Ryan.
Ryan, I think you broke them a little bit.
Did I?
No, I'm joking.
I was like, maybe I score a pair for free. Without a discount. How's that?
There you go.
Hey?
Back on.
Not even my son could break these.
That's
What?
crazy.
And that's saying a
Don't
lot.
challenge him. Don't challenge him. He is Ryan's son. so-
That's crazy. Yeah, so
These are cool.
if you're listening on the audio, Ryan's now wearing the shades.
I think I'm going to keep these ones.
Yeah, look a bit like a poker player there. But no, Leon, it's an amazing product.
cool,
really
man.
is
Very,
very,
very
very
cool.
cool. I'm astonished by it. Really, the material is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Lenses are great too. And you mentioned something, if the guys do need to have prescription lenses, obviously you can sort that out as well.
Yeah, so I actually sold a pair to a guy in Cape Town over December, and he took it to his optometrist, and they have a lab. They cut the lenses out, they make new lenses from whatever they use, and they put your prescription in it, and it pops into the frame, and there you go.
I'm sorry, hang on. I can't believe those didn't break when you did that.
And I tried, eh? I tried.
Yes.
Don't throw a challenge at me.
Jeez. I'm like, I'm not
Take
going to
it
bend
all.
these. I'm going to bend them a little bit. Yeah, there's Ryan trying to see if he can fold them in on each other.
Oh no! Look, you make a claim to fame, and like, well, let's have it.
Yeah.
No,
Check it out.
look,
Yeah.
that's incredible. Seriously, amazing material. Do
I'm sorry.
what was
I
that?
apologize.
But like the material, you mentioned it last time you were on the show, and
Yeah.
it's quite a difficult name to pronounce. Just run it.
Rezilamide.
How much?
Rezilamide.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
rezilamide.
Do they use it on spacecraft or something?
Yeah, so they call it an aerospace material, which
Yeah.
probably means they use it on some, I don't know, SpaceX spacecraft or something. But yeah, it's basically just the formulation or the way the plastic is formed. That's basically what it boils down to. So
Amazing
polycarbonate
product.
material.
Should actually-
Amazing product.
Should actually mention that to the car manufacturers. Maybe
Make
No,
it-
because then you won't going to have to buy the new parts. So they're not going to
Yeah.
do that.
that
put
is
the
a-
panel beaters out
that
of
is a
business.
bit of a problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
Generating return business is difficult.
No, great job with finding a good product, and then of course selling it off like you have. It's amazing. I can't believe they didn't break there.
Yeah.
Can we
Can't
try it
believe
with yours?
No, no, these bad boys aren't going to last. Yeah, should we get into a bit of local news? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. What's been happening?
Well, there was an article in Bloomberg today about South African business, and things are picking up. Obviously, it wasn't talking specifically about aviation, but business-wise, things in South Africa are picking up. Obviously, restrictions have been greatly reduced, and I think people have a sense of, I don't even want to say optimism, but they can see the way things have been going. The government slowly but surely have been reducing these restrictions, and from what it feels like, Ryan, it's pretty much business back to normal, touch wood, but that's how it feels, and the results are there on the business side of things. But big business is reporting good profits at the latter half of January and now into February, so really, really great news, and the rest of the world seems to be following.
No, I couldn't agree more, pal. I mean, chatting to a lot of my local friends and that in general, everyone's saying the same thing. How's it going? Like, no, I've been busy, work-wise. And obviously there's that air of optimism and excitement about it because people are excited to be busy and grateful to be busy again. And no, it's certainly the best indicator of things recovering and getting better that we've had in a long, long time, man.
South Africa's back in business. There's no question about it.
Awesome.
Yeah. I was doing a bit of research on the local airlines this week, just seeing what I could, come across online. One airline we haven't spoken about a lot about is Lyft.
Yes.
I saw Lyft coming into Lanya just before we started the show. They're not going anywhere. They obviously got a good base there. They got a good bunch of people, and they're running a really good show. Talking about websites, I did a bit of I'll get into it a bit later, but I decided just to have a look at some pricing, and the Lyft website for me was by far the easiest to use of all the big airlines. So they're someone that's worth supporting. They a very difficult situation they in from a branding perspective because of the whole SAA merger and their connection to Global and Global's connection to SAA with the whole merger. We don't know what's happening with that merger, if it will ever happen, but their Lyft is there. It's still going. They've got good people running it, and I've never flown with them, but I'd like to give them my support.
It's funny you mention it because I was thinking the same thing the other day. I was also, trailing the news, and I also realized, you don't hear much of Lyft at the moment.
But they're operating.
And I did some digging, and I mean, they're quite under the radar. Yeah, like you said, I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon because their business model, when they're not busy themselves, if they're not selling enough tickets, they're using or leasing the airplanes out to the other airlines.
Yeah.
Safia have been using their planes. I think Comet and Mango might have been using them towards the end as well. But
their business model is sound.
So the airplanes and their pilots and the crew are not standing still. So if they're not selling their own tickets, the airplane's flying for other airlines, and it's quite a clever model.
Yeah. Jonathan Ayachi knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So it's cool.
They're running a good show there.
Yeah.
As I said, their circumstances are very difficult to begin with, but doing a good job. So good on them. I see Airlink, they reintroducing flights between Durban and Nelspruit from the 4th of April. So they just keep going. It's a runaway train, Airlink at the moment. They're just adding on routes. I mean, they are so by far the biggest airline at the moment.
Well, Airlink can link South Africa to 13 different countries across the continent at the moment.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's actually something worthwhile boasting.
Yeah.
That's quite a network. It's cool.
Yeah, the one thing there as well that one must consider, they're not a low-cost carrier.
No.
They get proper catering on board. People rave about their catering. I see people actually posting stuff to say how good this meal was, even if it's a sandwich. It's like in this day and age, getting a free sandwich and
especially when you've paid for it, like really paid for
it. Yeah. This Pan-African story, Kenya and South African Airways. For once, it's not South African Airways slowing this thing down. They did their 1,000th flight the other day, SA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the new SA. But
didn't pay any attention to that.
They obviously were looking at joining with Kenya. Might still happen. Kenya can't do anything right now. There's a few financial things for them to sort out, but I'm sure they will join forces, particularly if this deal with Global doesn't go through.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So we'll have to watch that. But look, SA carrying on without much fuss. You're not hearing much about it. They operating, but not exactly operating overseas stuff yet. That'll only be 223, they say. So it's mainly local, regional. But we'll have to watch what happens there.
Yeah,
Come, carrying on. We've got Tommy Rotenbach coming on the show in a couple of weeks' time.
Awesome.
Tommy's the fleet captain there, so it'd be nice to hear what's happening there.
Yeah,
we are big supporters of Come, of course. Safair, what do you say? Still my go-to airline. If my mom is flying to Joburg, I just go to Safair.
Yeah, no, look, they're still by far the most reliable, most on time.
Well, they're not though. Airlink is.
Yeah, but I suppose as a brand,
Yeah, but that's what we think. But Airlink is the most on-time airline.
Yeah. Look, I suppose ultimately in that context, it comes down to price. Who's the most affordable then?
Okay.
Probably.
So do you want to know?
Oh, shucks.
Are you ready for the Brian Air cost index?
Well, this is going to be interesting.
All right.
This is where you're going to tell me, Ryan, you've been a chopper guy.
You're being a doer. Right. So pick a route. All right. So OR to Cape Town.
The normal.
All right. The normal. This Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. Late afternoon, around 4 p.m.
Safair is going to be the cheapest.
All right. One bag and you're allowed one carry-on. Safair, the cheapest I could find around that 4 o'clock time, 2,031 ZAR.
One way.
One way.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay. It's this Friday. Hey?
Yeah.
All right. So we're Wednesday now.
Okay.
Airlink, 1,700. There was one ticket left.
What?
1,700 Rand on Airlink.
No way.
It looked like there was one ticket left. When I went back, it was gone. There was no option left for a Friday flight at all from OR to Cape Town on Link.
Okay.
There was no option. It said, try on Saturday or Sunday. Lyft 1878.
Yeah?
Yep. Come, but this was on British Airways. So remember now, it's not low cost.
Not Kalula.
2262.
Okay.
All right. Seme 2,500. All right. On the 3 p.m. flight, but on the later one, 6:15, it was 1,700. Okay. So Seme is obviously their frequency is a bit less.
Yes.
So there's a big variance there between the times. So don't want to. It's not that Seme were over expensive. It was that 3 o'clock on Seme was very expensive. Remember on Seme, free drinks and snacks also. Hey?
True, and you have the opportunity to take your animals with you if you want as well. I don't think other airlines are quite offering it yet.
Yeah,
but that's impressive. And I mean, it's not even a long weekend; it's a normal weekend.
It's this coming Friday. You know,
yeah,
things are opening up.
Crazy.
People might be looking at it. So I thought let's have a look. So yeah, it's not that SAF is the cheapest. You might have thought, you know, but Airlink was the cheapest. Airlink's website's the worst.
Yeah,
it's the worst. It's the most old school website. In saying that, on LinkedIn this morning, they were advertising for a web developer there. Not saying it has anything to do with it, but
yeah,
it's the most clunky website. It's the most old-fashioned website that, you know, even when I tried to click on it, wasn't as clear what I was exactly doing it. Bearing in mind, they've got 50 times more flights than the other airlines. So there's a whole whack of options. When you go to Lyft, for example, it literally gives you the option to depart from Joburg or Cape Town and, you know, one way or return. So it's much more simple. But Lyft's website was, for me, the easiest to use.
Okay.
It was literally 2 clicks. I had my price and do you want to pay? That was it. So they're all much of a muchness there.
That's impressive.
So who would you fly with now?
Yeah, look.
Would you give Airlink a go? I mean, you know.
Again, look, there's no ways I would be allowed to go to Cape Town on my ace for the weekend. It's really like, you know, Monday being Valentine's Day and everything. For, you know, just a stark reminder to all you O's out there. That's the other advisory. Just remember.
When's that? This Monday?
Monday, apparently, 14th. So, cool. So again, it would boil down to availability. And of course, in my case, price. But it's funny how you naturally think that FlySafa is always the cheapest. Crazy.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it's not always the case. If you're looking for the cheapest ticket, you got to go and do a bit of research. And let's face it, it is so easy to actually go and do that. However, it's worthwhile to have a VPN there as well because they'll price check you on it as well.
What you reckon? If you're buying a ticket in Joburg, they'll try and review more?
No, if you're looking at third-party sites, a lot of the time, because a lot of the time you get better deals on a third-party site.
Yeah,
and you'll get price checked very quickly if they pick up that you're looking across multiple sites. They're not going to give you a cheaper one there. They'll give you just cheaper because they know.
So interwebs is too clever, man.
It's too clever,
but you know.
Yeah.
I implement this.
That's what he does.
Stop shopping. Stop shopping around.
So, like, if I'm going to go and buy a pair of Flying Eye sunglasses,
would you like a discount?
See, I didn't even bring it up. Thanks for offering. So, what are we today?
No, well,
where's the discount index falling for the Brian Air viewers?
Yeah. So, speaking of Brian Air costing index, no, I think the 10% discount still applies to all of your viewers, all of the Brian Air.
And how do they get that, Leon?
So you can just go to the Flying Eyes website. You don't have to click on a specific link or anything. You just go to the Flying Eyes website and then use the code Brian Air at checkout, and you get 10% discount.
Okay,
awesome.
That's
it. Thanks, Leon.
Well worth it. So please go check that out.
And incredibly generous of you.
Yeah,
well, it is sort of forced into it on the first podcast.
I was giving you latitude today.
Fly Namibia. Is there anyone listening to us operating for Fly Namibia at the moment? Because they're expanding a bit. They obviously Namibian aviation industry was hit very, very hard. And I mean they're adding flights on. They got Windhoek, Eros, and Ondangwa going shortly, and it's obviously a new airline. It's not the same old Air Namibia. So I'd be interested to hear if there is anyone flying out there. I'd like to hear how it's going there at Fly Namibia.
Yeah, it'd be interesting because I mean, their crew were here for training a while ago, and you'd almost expect them to hit the ground running. But
they're an important part of aviation in Southern Africa for sure.
Of course.
But we're going international now.
Yeah, big news
Big
across the
news.
pond, eh?
So where do you want to start with?
we can't dodge the elephant in the room. Let's talk about Hong Kong, man.
Let's talk about it.
Hey, listen, we've been brought into the loop by a couple of
We got
friends
we've
across
got
the-
a Canadian correspondent. We now got a correspondent from Hong Kong.
And man, yeah, look. So what was it yesterday? 2 days ago, the Hong Kong government all of a sudden dropped a sort of silent bomb on these guys and changed the rules and regulations around the lockdown requirements, and they've imposed tighter restrictions. Just when the rest of the world is starting to come out of this thing, almost to the point where we like just about forgetting about it.
Yeah.
The Hong Kongese, that's what we can call them, going impose tighter restrictions.
Yeah, what is going on? I mean, here's the headline. Hong Kong will require cargo pilots and cargo crew. I don't know what says that, but I suppose it's all, crew working on a quick turnarounds on the island to wear monitoring bracelets.
It's almost like imprisonment.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the kind of shit I think I'd only ever see on movies.
Yeah. There's talk of, so do a COVID test within 24 hours from departure time out of Hong Kong, wear your electronic wristband, which looks, it's like a fake Apple Watch. It's like a thick, horrible looking thing.
There's nothing elegant about it, that's for sure.
Yeah. The Cathay guys, they got to take company provided transport to and from getting a PCR test in the form of local taxis that the airline has contracted. Can't use your own vehicle, even though after the day 3, they're allowed into public.
Yeah.
So the Cathay guys are they're in this very confined, it's a crazy situation. The guys that we're talking to, they're not overly complaining, but what they were actually surprised with listening to the podcast was how strange their situation is to the rest of the world. To them, it just this is how it is. But listening to us, the guys are saying, well, it's pretty weird because for them it kind of feels normal now, but it's actually not normal at all. It's a very strange situation. So many Saffers over there, so many guys giving us Gen. It's really cool. I love looking at the Hong Kong views and charts there because we've been number 1 there in Hong Kong for a bit, and then there's a few Chinese podcasts underneath, and I think it's the majority of the Saffers listening to us trying to find out what the hell's going on at home.
Yeah, look, I think if you break it down to the nuts and bolts of it, we're so used to things being ridiculous in South Africa in terms of what the government does to us and battling with things like load shedding, etc.
Yeah, it started off,
and now when you sort of hear what's going on there and you're comparing apples with apples, you're like, wow, I mean, because like the rules, you have to take company provided transport to go and stand in a queue for an hour to, I don't know, couple of hours just to go and get a PCR test done. It's the same ridiculous thing. You're trying to keep me in a bubble.
Did you see those queues?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The queues are
it's insane.
They're ridiculous. They make our Home Affairs queue look like a queue for McDonald's.
Queue for McDonald's is pretty hectic.
But it moves.
That's true. That is true.
No, it's just it's stupid. It really is. And we always thought that South Africa were pulling off the biggest sort of Darwin awards of the stunts, but things are hectic over there, and I feel bad for the airlines, man, because the airlines are being hit pretty hard.
It's not Cathay.
No,
it's not Air Hong Kong.
No,
it's the government that are imposing these restrictions.
Yeah, no, I mean it's hurting them badly, and obviously in turn it results into the crew being quite badly affected. I mean,
emotionally. Did you see that there was a captain that posted a video in his hotel room? He was on one of those. What do they call these things?
It's a loop,
like
some sort of arrangement they've got. Yeah,
it's not a compulsory thing. You can actually put up your hand and say, "I'm willing to do this loop." I think you get paid a bit more. And but he didn't look so lacquer emotionally, and it's just weird in this day and age. 222, and you're actually talking about the emotional state of airline crew. And here's something that directly affects the emotional state of airline crew.
Yeah, it just sort of like doesn't end for the guys. I mean, being put through the ringer, so to speak. 2020 comes along, so this pandemic hits.
But this thing
Everybody's
started.
like,
Look at, sorry, Ryan, but
Yeah.
just to go back further, they had all those riots and that in Hong Kong before
I
that.
remember.
Hong Kong
yes.
was in chaos before the pandemic. Then
Yeah.
the pandemic came along, and then it's just been this constant bloody
Yeah.
total dog show.
Shame the guys could really use a break. Yeah, it's no wonder that guys are like. Can you imagine being in an airline recruitment service now? You must be inundated with CVs that are coming from that side of the world, I'm sure. Who
Yeah,
knows?
coming from everywhere. But
Yeah.
I don't know. You've set up shop there. Your family's there. They're happy there.
Mm.
Although there's a massive restrictions, it's not unsafe, is it? What's our biggest threat here in South Africa is the safety.
Exactly.
So people tend to try to get out of South Africa to go and look for a safer environment in which to bring their children up. There's a total different story. You just got Big Brother looking, literally with your wristband monitoring device on, watching what you're doing, where you're going, and who you're meeting.
Yeah, and
So-
you can't take any chances because they are all over you. I mean,
No,
there's stories of
This is not a South
families-
African wristband
well, there's
that
also
you can
they've
pay someone
yeah.
200 and get off.
Yeah,
No,
consultation fee.
You can't buy a policeman a Coke in Hong Kong and get away with it. I mean, they're reducing. So if you're like two people, you're like a gang now, and people have been fined for standing in a park, walking past your mates, having a quick chat. Oh, how's it going? This, that, the next thing, and getting fined hefty amounts of money.
Yeah.
Um,
So just a shout
Yeah.
out to the guys that are in Hong Kong, the guys that are listening to us. So we got your back.
yeah.
And hopefully we can sort of express some of your concerns and emotions that you can't directly. So
Yeah, look, I suppose the general message out there is that the grass isn't greener on the other side. I mean, you could come back to
it's
SA
just different.
and just sit in the darkness for long.
Well, this
periods
is
of
the other
time.
thing, Ryan. I mean, we're doing the show now on a Wednesday. We've made a commitment to do this show on a Thursday. We were running around trying to figure out how we're going to do this week. There was stage 2 load shedding for the overseas viewers. That's when they cut the power off totally. So it's normally twice a day. It was right over the morning slot that we sometimes do on a Thursday, and it was directly over the afternoon slot that we sometimes do. So it was chaotic. So what do? Particularly when you've got a guest on, you've got to make a plan. So now we've had to adjust. And how much of business these days is all about adjusting? We just have to make a plan.
Yeah, look, it's one of those things. We're just lucky that our guest today, Lehan, was very accommodating and flexible in his schedule, and could understand our razzmatazz around the schedule. But for guys out there that are working from home, relying on electricity during the day, it's difficult, man. It really is.
It's difficult.
It's ludicrous, but
not easy.
What can you do?
Right, so let's move somewhere else. Singapore, they are doing a bit better. They've made a bit of a recovery from where they were. The mainline carrier, they're very much supported by the government there. Tourism, a big thing. They're a massive airline. And together, them and Scoot, they're still involved. There's a bit of a connection there. And Singapore's opening up as well. One of the countries that decided they're not going to do this Hong Kong style shutdown. They're going to open up. So nice to see them. Nice to see them growing again. Southwest Airlines in the States. They're a massive airline as well. They're huge.
Legacy airline as well. They've been going for so long.
Yeah. They will resume selling alcoholic beverages on the 16th of Feb.
That's a selling point.
Yep, it is.
I might buy a ticket.
Yeah. So that's the last major carrier not selling. So they're all now selling, not for free.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. It's worth a penny.
Yeah.
Spirit and
Frontier
are merging.
Merging's a big thing now. You're going to see this a lot.
Yeah.
They're it's going to be the 5th largest airline in the US by passenger volume. So 2 low costs. They actually not low cost. They're ultra low cost carriers, and they're merging. 5th largest carrier. It's going to take a big chunk of that market, but you will see more mergers going forward. You're seeing it with American. They announced a deal with Gold in Brazil.
Yes.
There's a joint thing going on there.
Heavy.
And they bought a 5.2% stake in that airline. You'll see more of this. I mean, there's no doubt going forward. Korean and the Asiana merger, they got Singapore's blessing now. There was a whole court case going along. So Korean and Asiana merging as well.
That's cool, man.
Yep.
Yeah, closer to home as well. I know we've mentioned it quite a bit the last couple of weeks, but Emirates are officially advertising vacancies. Recruiting. So it's happening quicker than we thought. The adverts are out there.
Qatar as well.
Yeah.
If you want to fly 4,000 hours a month.
Yeah. In exceptionally
and log 65.
great conditions. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, look. They're employing, which is good. All the Eastern carriers there, I think.
Yeah.
Picked up Air North. Quite a few South Africans at Air North.
In Darwin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They just added 2 E190s.
Yeah, they were planning big expansion just prior to COVID. We had a couple of mates that were headed that way. In fact, they had been offered jobs and
You've
bags
only
were
got
packed.
one mate. Just easy on the mates.
Okay, sorry. One mate. Lots of people I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, look, there was a couple of guys that were, literally their bags were packed. They were about to go just before this whole nonsense started. And so it sounds like they're on the up and up again, man.
Yeah, good news there.
Yep.
Staying with that Emirates thing, you said they were hiring, but they've also added Casablanca back to their list. So now they fly everywhere in Africa again.
Yeah.
Everywhere they used to fly, they now fly. That's great news.
And I mean, the 380s are back in. And mentioning 380s, I saw the other day that even British Airways have only got 3 of the A380s left in storage. Yeah, so there was a while there during lockdown where we thought we'd never see this thing flying again.
Yeah.
Now it's just back to normal.
Now it's back.
It's cool, man.
Look, when Australia is opening up shop, there's only cause for celebration. I mean, let's face it, they have, Novak saw the wrath there. But they're opening up. You got to be fully vaccinated. If you're not, there has to be some type of reason. But you can go to Australia for a period there. It looked like, geez, will we ever be allowed back into Australia?
Yeah.
But they're opening up, and it's really good news.
They're following the suit behind the New Zealanders, the Kiwis.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any plans on traveling anywhere when you can, Leon?
Yeah, so Durban doesn't sound like a bad
Yeah. Which airline you going to go with?
Well, apparently I have to do some research before I just decide.
Yeah,
I was on the right side. I was like, you go fly Safair, but apparently not.
Look, I'm not saying don't
interesting.
go fly Safair. That's still my go-to airline. But
I have a feeling that my influence is probably rubbed off on Leon a bit, and he might start fishing for discounts. So
yeah, you're right.
No, we won't.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
I'll just use your discount.
Yeah.
Just call and say, hey, Ryan said. No, I was I'm actually planning on visiting the guys in the States for Flying Eye. So I want to go to the States and go and visit them, and I have a couple of
That'll
LinkedIn
be a nice
connections.
business trip.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I want to go to the States as soon as possible.
Texas as well.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
a few
Texas.
big podcasters you can bump into down there.
Listen,
Yeah, there's 1 or 2. I think the name now.
mention our names. I'm sure Rogan will give you a good seat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind traveling there.
Speaking of traveling, can we talk about a little topic here that's worth discussion? I think I picked this up and I found it rather interesting. The business travel has changed totally. The way people travel for business totally changed. So the airline industry at one point, it didn't look like travel was ever, business travel in particular, was ever going to come back. We all know how to do Zooms and Teams calls these days. So what's the point of traveling, right?
No, of course.
And, in fairness, we can achieve a lot on those calls anyway. You don't have to go all the time. However, the business travel market has branched off a little bit here. And quite an interesting thing. Obviously, there was a bit of a glimmer of this in, even in late 2020. But it's now taken off properly. People are now going away, but they're going away to work and still do their Zoom calls. So people are actually booking themselves in a nice hotel somewhere. I mean, one guy had to laugh. You put these backgrounds there. So people put like a beach and whatnot. But meanwhile, you're sitting at your house type thing. So this guy, his background is his house, and he's sitting on a beach in the Caribbean. So he took a picture of his office, and that is his background. But he booked himself in for 2 months at this hotel that has been geared for people doing that thing. So instead of the pool area being a pool area with a bar and loud music, they've turned the bar into an area with printers, scanners, all sorts of things.
Hey?
There's no bar there. You can still order drinks and that, but there's no loud music. It's all very chilled. They've totally reconverted the whole setup for these types of people. So what they're doing, and they call this bleisure, business and leisure.
How's that?
I honestly thought I'd heard it all.
Yeah,
this is nuts.
the first time I've heard about this.
Yeah, it's business and leisure travel. And it's helping the airlines because people are traveling again for business. But the way it's working, I mean, they've got the CEO of Airbnb talking about this. Deloitte's a massive company. They're talking about how their people are traveling these days. So the philosophy with most of the businesses these days is they don't really need you at work. They just need the work to be done. So they don't really care how you get your work done or where you get it done. So it's not frowned upon anymore to go away for 3 weeks because you're going to go and work when you're away. So in the States in particular, what people are doing is they're booking themselves and their families at a nice resort somewhere. And then instead of it being a 2-week vacation, they're making it a 1 month vacation. But the vacation for either the working mom or dad stops on week 2, and then you start working again, but your kids and family are in this vacation environment and you're in your working environment. So you still do your calls and you get all your work done, but you're not at the office because you don't have to be at the office. And it's greatly helped the business travel sector. Airlines are seeing the results of it. They're seeing people traveling for this reason. They call them laptop luggers, these people. So they travel with their laptop. They go and they go and do work somewhere cool.
That's just amazing. I love it because again, it's showing how the world is adapting. I mean, you very quickly think, working from home is like it would be such a picnic. How nice would it be to manage your own time, etc., and work from home? But
it's difficult.
There are limitations as well. Kids running around and lawnmowers and washing machines, all that nonsense happening. And people are being innovative and creative and doing something. I love it, man. It's really, really cool.
So something to consider when you go to Texas, Leon. Maybe stay a bit longer, do a bit of graft on that side. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Call myself a bleisure traveler.
A bleisure traveler.
Yeah. Look, if you're disciplined enough, and I mean, I suppose most companies have had to cancel office space, so they might as well pay for airline tickets.
All right. Well, here's another thing. The Mandarin Oriental in Washington, D.C., amongst one of the hotels, offering now day rates for workers in pursuit of extra space. So what they're doing is they haven't filled up the hotels, for people staying overnight. So they offer a bit of space for the day, but they set the room up to be an office. So it's got a proper desk. They fully kitted to be an office. Printers in there, all the rest. You can go and rent the room. So if you've got let's say last week we were on the Aviadev podcast,
yes,
which was awesome, and we decided to do it at work because it was too risky to go do it at home.
Yeah,
but had that been at a time where we weren't here, it would have been a bit of a rigmarole to sort out. So what you could do is, if you're worried about doing it at home, remember our live calls was right at the stage where Riley, your son Ryan, was bombing around full tilt. I think he had smashed a couple of Red Bulls before our live show, and it was chaos.
Yeah.
But you're not the only person in the world that has done that. We've all seen those videos of people where, on CNN when their kids walk in. So people are it's not that things are worse, things are different. And it's quite an exciting thing, because if you tapped into that market early, then you're scoring, man.
How many business Zoom meetings took place in South Africa where you didn't hear that Hardy Dar in the background, I mean, gee whiz.
Freaking bush chicken.
No, it's very cool. I mean, I love that. And listen, the biggest perk has to be an office with a bar fridge.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that's cool.
That tickles me, man.
Okay, but think about it as well, Ryan. It goes a step further.
Yeah.
When you do a call it's nice to have a nice microphone, a headset, and all that stuff. And let's face it, those things are expensive to buy. We're lucky we've got them because of the podcast. But a lot of people, they've got an important call. You're doing your interview. You've got an interview with a big airline, and you're trying to find space in the house. You have to go and upgrade your Wi-Fi like you did because the Wi-Fi was so poor. Now your interview turns into an expensive exercise.
True story.
You can actually go rent a hotel room that's designed to accommodate that business call and go and rent it for 2 hours if you want.
It's very clever.
Very clever, I think.
It's awesome.
Hey?
It is very cool.
All right.
Oh.
Leon,
Yes.
you obviously listen to us weekly. You're a big supporter of us. You comment all the time, and you give us a lot of support, not only with your flying eyes, but you give us a bit of advice now and then as well. And you listen to a lot of other podcasts. We've punted the value of podcasts over the last couple of years. What are you listening to at the moment?
Yeah, I actually, on that point, the conversation that you had with is it John from AVDF?
John Howell, yes.
Yeah, that was what you said about the competition thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. So the more there is to listen to, and that's the way people consume their news and everything. So, but yeah, I am a big supporter of the Joe Rogan Experience. I listen to Joe Rogan Experience a lot. Listen to Jordan and Michaela Peterson, both individually.
Yeah, because you connected there.
Yeah, personal friends with all the Peterson, the whole Peterson family. And Simon Sinek. I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek's work, leadership podcasts, and how to not be a douchebag.
He's excellent.
Yeah,
I must maybe listen to that.
I'll send you a link. Yeah. So, but yeah, I listen to that. But I'm a big fan of audiobooks and stuff as well. So I have a Scribd subscription. So yeah, free audiobooks, or not free, well, you pay for the subscription. But yeah, so
what's I use Audible. What's the difference between Scribd and Audible?
So Audible has a lot of the new books on Audible, but you have to pay per book. Whereas with Scribd, you don't have to pay per book. Yeah, you pay a once-off fee, and it's not very expensive. I think it's like $130 a month.
Okay.
And you can listen unlimited. There's audiobooks. You have access to Curiosity Stream, which is a documentary app where you only have documentaries that they have on there, and it's proper like Netflix vibe type of documentaries that they have on there.
Okay.
And there's also a brain game thing that you get premium access to. So all included in the Scribd subscription. So
that's interesting to hear, because Leon, a few years younger than us, around particularly.
Yeah,
he looks about the same age as me, but with you there,
yeah, but that's business.
It's a bit of a father-son situation.
Shut up your face, man. You talk like it. I've been refraining all week trying to comment on Brian. Have you seen how much frosties he's got on the side of his head?
I was actually
He's
checking it
great.
10 minutes ago.
The camera's not switching across. The thing's not.
No,
working.
no.
Sorry,
That's
guys.
so weird.
He's
It's
getting
the light.
Technology.
The silver fox is hitting him on this.
The
Don't come to me with that nonsense, bro. But no, look. Yeah, sorry. Before you rudely interrupted yourself, carry on.
No, you were talking. You go ahead.
No, I came across a very cool podcast just yesterday, in fact. Do you remember years ago, seeing as we're talking about age,
Yeah.
but there were those books and those series used to come out in the magazines. I learned about flying from that. So it's quite a cool one for our pilot mates, this podcast. But they've actually got, and I learned about flying from that podcast now.
Yes.
The host is Rob Ryder, and all those old stories about, there I was in my Cessna 402 in the middle of a storm. And
have you read those, Leon?
No,
They're excellent.
Worthwhile
They're
for young
excellent.
pilots
There's
like
a-
yourself. You
Really?
got
Actually,
to.
They sound very
I'll
exciting.
get you a copy there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's phenomenal, interesting reading. You learn so much from these guys' stories, and
Guys get low on fuel, but they talk about it, and it's very, very good.
it's a great lesson.
So it's worth a listen.
Absolutely,
Okay,
yeah.
we'll give that. I've got an advisory for you. You might have seen it though, Ryan. It's been doing the rounds. My sister sent it to me, so I'm going to talk about it because I like the concept of it. And even if you have heard about it, well, then maybe there's some of our listeners that haven't. I'm not claiming this. This was on another podcast. So someone else actually said this, but they posed a question to one of the guests. They said, if I gave you $1 million right now, Leon, would you be happy? Would you be content? Would you have a bit of a drive, zest for life? If let's say you won it and you got $1 million in your bank account. It would obviously take away a bit of stress and it would put you in a good frame of mind, right?
Yeah,
$1 million is about what 160 million rand.
There are not many people that would there are not many people that would argue with that. I mean, you know, if you get $1 million today, it would put you in a very good frame of mind.
Of course.
So the same question, if I gave you, let's say I give you $10 million, you know, you win $10 million. Would you feel good?
I think so.
You would, eh?
I'll be chill.
So what happens if they say to you, you get the $10 million, but you don't wake up tomorrow morning? Would you take it?
Well, you can't be happy if you're dead.
Yeah. So if I offer you the 10 million, but I say you get the 10 million, but you will not wake up tomorrow morning, would you take the 10 million?
No, that's a cock idea, bro.
All right. So
100%.
what does that tell you about the value of waking up tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, if someone says right now, I'll give you 10 million.
That's deep, bro.
No, but yeah, my sister sent it to me. She's good with stuff like that. But I'm not claiming that. It's doing the rounds on, you know, you get these. It was actually a TikTok thing. You probably know about it.
Yeah.
But it's been doing the rounds, and I quite like it.
Yeah.
And it's a nice message. If you
look, man, I say it's deep because I've been hit with some fairly big family traumas just recently. So that sort of thing does hit home quite hard, and it's true. You know, at the end of the day, what are you pushing for? What are you striving for? I suppose many of us fall into that trap. Yeah, you're going out there, you aiming for big money, but at the end of the day, is it really all worth it?
Yeah,
heavy.
No, exactly. I thought it was good.
Very good.
Yeah,
chatting to our people listening here, Gav, always, how's it, guys? Gavin Hill, Janet Klutzer, afternoon, gentlemen. L, correspondent from Canada, how's it all? Tanya.
Keegan, how's this? You gents can all rent a room to cry in when Hammy wins the World Title back this year.
Jeez, that guy, he's a whinger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Keegs.
I don't mean Hamilton's a whinger. I mean Keegan.
No, yeah, I was on the same page. Yeah.
Jeez, yeah. Al Macaulay here, no shades. The whole look is just incomplete. That's true for a pilot. You need the shades.
True story.
Sutu's Pride afternoon all. Keegan says it's about you, Lehan. How's it, gentleman? Lehan, a man of many talents. Nice thing there.
Thank you, Keegan.
Men's, those look amazing. Yeah, so hopefully you made a sale there for you, Lehan.
Thank you. Half an hour in a Cherokee.
Yeah. There's my father-in-law.
4 hours in a Jabberoo.
Wishing us a good show. Yeah, these comments of support go a long way, and I really do appreciate the guys. Andrew here as well. Evening. Thanks for the content, Andrew. Yeah, how's it, man?
Hey, yeah, great to hear from you, Andy. And Al's got another one there. He says it's not grey, it's wisdom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, working with this Muppet is about to go grey, Al. All right, agreed. Thanks, chaps. Have a lekker one, Lawrence Beresworth. Rui over here. Good news. Alan here as well. Do you read his Darwin? 40 degrees all year round with 120% humidity. Lovely spot.
Yeah. Look, I don't think guys are running there, but
no. Alex here confirms hotel rooms rented by the hour. Go Aviate. I don't know who this is actually. How's it, guys? Rather late than never. How's it, Jay? Lots of support here. Caroline as well. How's it, guys? And Gavin Hill. Thanks, Gav. Makes you think. Nice message. You see, not telling me it was a cuck message.
Not just banter. You can get some life skills.
Gav's just one of those eternally polite guys. So yeah.
One other thing I want to mention, Ryan. One of our big supporters, a guy. I don't think I've actually ever met him in real life, but he supports us like hell. Dave Sterling flies at Sapphire, I believe.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, he put me onto this guy. He's got VNAV leather. Have you heard about it?
I've seen them being advertised. Those leather bags.
They're leather bags.
Freaking cool.
So what was quite funny, Dave was telling me he attempted to make a leather flight bag during the lockdown, but he says it was a bit of a dog show. So he obviously started looking around to see, can you get this done? And he has a pilot doing something else. So I'll leave the link in the show notes. vnav.co.za.
It's quite a catchy name.
It's cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah. So I spoke to his name's Han. I spoke to him on the phone.
Yeah.
And he was happy for us to punt him on the show, and also a very cool site and awesome product, and obviously totally different product to yours, but a pilot that's doing something, and very cool. So if you're looking for a nice leather bag, I'll send his link to Bill Good.
Yeah. I think by this stage we could probably do like a Brian Air pilot shop. Like
we should.
Yeah, exactly. Because we've got the glasses, we've got the
glasses, socks,
leather, we've got the socks.
We could rock around with leather bags.
Yeah. Craig had the idea of flying jocks the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, look, I'll probably be due for a couple of pairs of those as well.
Yeah.
We can do a proper Brian Air pilot shop.
We should.
You're
We
onto
can
something.
actually, worth it.
No discounts.
It's been fantastic having you, Lehan. Very, very impressed with your product. Last time, you actually had run out of stock last time, so we couldn't actually have a look and try them out ourselves. But, in all honesty, without even trying to, boost it, because Lehan's, there's the no-brainer. When you try them on, you go and buy them. So we're not even going to say go buy them. Just go try them on. You mentioned that you go to a few of these events, the GA events that are happening, and obviously you promote your product there. So that's, I suppose, if someone wants to come and see you, an easy way to do it.
Yeah, I think, what's been happening is I just travel to all the airports. That's more or less where my clientele will be. And I just give it to the guys and tell them, go and fly with it, go and test it out. Like, don't take my word for it. Like I said earlier, I'm the salesman. I am going to tell you it's the best sunglasses in the world, but test it out for yourself. And, test it. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, treat.
Guys, let's face it. If Ryan didn't break it there.
Yeah.
No, they're pretty indestructible.
They're indestructible.
Yeah.
Because...
No, that's because
you're a moron actually for doing that.
What for like trying to break them?
Yeah, for like genuinely trying to break them.
Listen, dude, challenge accepted. It's like, listen, he said if you break it, you can have it. So
you were twisting them like the last time I saw you twisting like that was in Margate during Africa Bike Week.
Let's not even go there.
Guys, I enjoyed it today. Lehan, fantastic. It's not the last time you're going to be back. When people they want to get in touch with you, the website?
Yeah, website, social media. I'm all over the place. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, wherever. LinkedIn is also a good one, like your advice. So anyway,
cool.
Yeah,
it's been
thanks
great,
for having me, guys. It was cool.
Thanks, Carl.
I enjoyed it today. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you.
As always.
Cool, man.
Yeah. Sorry about the different time slot, everyone, but thanks for joining us. And don't forget, those of you listening on the that like to listen on the audio, a little bit of an extra shutdown checklist, we call it.
Yeah.
Ryan and I will give a bit of a review of ourselves and the show.
Yeah.
So that'll come out on Friday.
I have no doubt that this week we'll have Brian cucking me out even more for trying to break the glasses. But anyway, it's been great.
I can't believe that.
Look forward to next week.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Until next week. Goodbye for now.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Cheers, everyone.